Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, my little huevos rancheros. It is a Friday. It is a beautiful Friday, June the 13th, and this mic is way too close to my mouth. Why is this song yelling? It's just called Vibes, dude. Look it up. Look it up in a local dictionary or something. I don't know. I'm not your mom. Folks, it's a Friday. We almost made it. Here we are at another conclusion of the week. Just enough time to make a little bit of dinero before we hit the old sangria watering hole. Hope you guys are having a good one. According to the markets, I hope you did not have calls unless you were on oil. Then I hope you did have calls. But with respect to the overall market, congrats to everyone who swung puts overnight. Not that this was necessarily a predictable gap down unless you had some sort of intelligence from Israel, I suppose. But if you did, I guess, hey, all the power to you. All the power to you. Folks, I'm kind of excited for today because I have some new systems that should be rocking. I made a couple, I don't know if it's improvements. We'll find out. But obviously Skynet version 2.0 started ripping it yesterday. And it worked out. Made 3 different trades. Went 3 for 3, $100 each, $300. But I ran that on one account. And now we have 20 new accounts to run kind of a different... It's not... I don't know. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited, especially with the increase in volatility. I think it should actually perform even better today. So we're going to see. So that's going to be going right at market open. Remember, I think I hard-coded it that it's not allowed to trade before 9:45. So we have a little bit of time before Skynet really starts ripping it today. But what's really exciting about today is not only is it a Payday Friday, but we're going to be rocking with some of these new Vanquish accounts. So we're going to be doing some of these option trades as well. So not just futures today, but futures and options. And then once again, with the expected spike in volatility, hopefully we can find some good opportunity. So here is the plan. I am the man with the plan. I'm not saying it's a good plan, but I have some sort of plan. But I don't know. Maybe you could even argue, am I really even a man? But that's besides the point. We're all cosplaying in here, you know? So here's the plan. I want to break down some of the craziness that's going on if for some reason you've been living under a rock, you might have missed the fact that last night Israel took a couple planes, and then dropped some things that ended up exploding in Iran, well, specifically Tehran of Iran. And we're on the precipice of some super serious global tensions boiling over. It is being reported by everyone pretty widely that this is just the start of it, and they're just waiting for Iran to retaliate, and we're in the middle of very, very serious global tensions. And you could see that with the market gapping down. You could see that with oil ripping. There's a lot going on. So we're going to be breaking that all down. Then we're going to turn it over to the markets and like specifically how we see some positioning. What I find so interesting about this, and granted, maybe it's just because the market hasn't opened yet, but as of right now, real time, the options market for the 0 DTE is still call dominated. So that's, I guess, more of a market way of saying, don't chase either side out of the gate today, because obviously we're getting a gap down, but then yet we're like the positioning, it's actually to the point that it's kind of confusing me. So remember, and I was putting this in the Discord today, do not let your emotions drive what's going on here. Don't just arbitrarily assume, sirens sound in Israel's north. Golly gee williker. Folks, feels like it's going to be a crazy one. Feels like it's going to be an absolutely crazy one. So, all right, let me prep you guys up for what we should and shouldn't be paying attention to. Let me switch this up over here, my little huevos rancheros. As you can see, SPY gapping down 1%. NASDAQ gapping down 1.3%, small cap sector gapping down 1.5%, and then you have Bitcoin not holding 105,000, down about 1% right now. And it's all because of very, very, very serious tensions boiling over. Dow futures fall nearly 500 points after Israel strikes Iran, spiking oil prices. So the other thing we should check out is, where is oil right now? Oil currently up about 8%, trading just below 74 a barrel. So yes, it is very much up. Israel disregards Trump with major attack on Iran nuclear sites. So I believe this happened around 8 p.m. last night, East Coast time. And then overnight, it did not get any better. So here you can see a bit of the video right there. Israel struck multiple targets in a major offense against Iran's nuclear program. We've been covering this narrative a little bit lately just because we know Iran saying, no, we're going to keep whatever enriching uranium. And then Trump was popping off of it saying, no, don't do that. And obviously they decided to. And then Israel said, nah, the attacks caused extensive damage to parts of the capital, Tehran. It looks like they were very, very targeted. Matt, it's Friday the 13th. What else do you expect?
Targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
So it's all about right here. The head of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hussein Salami, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he ended up getting taken out. So it was a very targeted thing. It wasn't just like generic bombing. It was very surgical, if you will. Obviously, right after this, as you'd expect, Trump had something to say. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words to just do it, but no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, that the U.S. makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world by far, all caps, and that Israel has a lot of it with much more to come, and they know how to use it. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, and they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead, capitalized now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, and there's still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No more death, no more destruction, just do it. Kind of like the Shia LaBeouf thing, just do it before it's too late. God bless you all. So This was coming out early this morning, and I actually believe as I was starting this, I thought, hang on, I want to reload it because I think he just posted something new. What was this one? 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 6-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. So obviously, we are expecting to hear more from Trump on this particular matter, but also just generically global leaders. Israel attacks Iran, airstrikes kill armed forces and Revolutionary Guard chief, specifically this guy leading it. He got taken out. Like I said, it was a very surgical attack, and unfortunately, everything reported right now is saying that there's going to be more. Most likely, Iran will retaliate, as you saw from Trump. Once again, many other news sources also saying, yeah, no, Israel's like prepping up. Like, well, you even heard it from their prime minister that they are really just kind of getting ready. Like, this could last days. Like that, unfortunately, this very much sounds like it's going to get worse before it gets better. Israel-Iran strikes likely just the opening salvo as region and markets brace for what comes next. Iran launched more than 100 drones towards Israeli territory this morning following the overnight missile strike on the country. Asian and European stocks fell as investors rushed into safe havens amid fear of wider war in the region that accounts for 1/3 of the world's oil supply. So why is oil going up? Right there. It accounts for 1/3 of the oil supply. Friday strikes in the Iranian response are likely just the beginning in a rapid cycle of escalation, according to regional analysts. So I'm painting the picture for you, but I think you guys get the understanding that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Trump urges Iran to reach nuclear deal before there is nothing left. Iran must make a deal before there's nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. On this, we're probably going to get various updates from the U.S. government along with global governments today, so pay attention to whatever your favorite news source is because it's probably going to be fast and rapid. Breaking, President Trump calls Israel's attack on Iran excellent and says there's more to come, a lot more. So that's a little bit provoking, and it's interesting to call an attack excellent, not necessarily the adjective I would use when we're talking about the loss of life and destruction. But hey, I'm not the one who got to pick the word. But yeah, apparently President early this morning around 7:30 calling excellent and saying there is more to come. Now is the time for restraint. World leaders react to Israel's strike on Iran. So a lot of people are saying, folks, cooler heads need to prevail because if we like scale this up, we could be looking at like serious global destruction. So obviously the fact that I am a human on this planet, I'm a big fan of maybe we should all just take a freaking breather here and not let things escalate. So hopefully the people in positions of power who get to make these types of decisions, obviously for all of us on this planet, I very, very much hope cooler heads prevail and everyone's like, all right, let's just like calm down. Let's not freak out and let's not add on more death and destruction that is not necessary. Not that really any of it at this point is. With more respect to the markets, obviously markets dropping. You have safe havens such as gold going up a bit. And then also just because as we covered, Iran representing 1/3 of black gold, aka oil. Well, the fact that they are getting bombed means that oil is going to go up and is up quite a bit, just below 74 a barrel. Oil prices jumped more than 7% on the heels of the Israeli strike, but it's not just oil with crazy moves. Dollar rallies amid safe haven rush after Israel strikes Iran, and then also movement in yields. U.S. Treasury yields rise after Israel strikes on Iran. So you have gold going up, oil going up, the dollar going up, you have bonds going down, yields going up. Classic anticipated moves, but we're seeing large movements. In fact, I should probably get oil. Where is oil? Let me move this higher up on the list today just so we can really track what in the world is going on. But oil currently just below 74, just above 73, up about 7.8%. We have a decent recovery from some of the initial panic in the SPY, also in the Qs. Obviously, we are gapping down below yesterday's low, but what's really getting hit is the small cap sector. Where is oil? Yeah, oil. Look at that. You could see exactly where this started to get reported because oil went from just below 69 all the way up to, how high did we go? Almost 78 a barrel. Like, you could just see this absolute rip. And then you could kind of see some interesting movement in as well. Look at gold now. Gold's actually still going. So right now, checking the futures market for some of these, like I said, some of these like core commodities, you're getting a better sense of how bad the tensions are as people are looking for these safe haven assets. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. So clearly today, this is what you got to pay attention to. And I have all the news sources ready to go. So as things are hitting the wire, as they say in the biz, I will do my best to get this news to you ASAP. Very quickly, just to go over it, today is still a Payday Friday. So don't forget to sign up, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. On top of being involved in the Payday Friday, you're also going to get this newsletter that comes out every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market, give you a little cheat sheet of the earnings of the major macroeconomic events, which reminds me today at 10 a.m. we will be getting the consumer sentiment report. So 30 minutes into the trading day, consumer sentiment. And then also with respect to seasonality, which we could probably just throw that out the window today, just because even though the seasonality is bullish, I would assume what's really going to be driving the market has a lot more to do with potential World War III rather than seasonality. But you should at least know over the past 27 years that the Bulls have technically won out this day. But anyway, it is a Friday. It is a Payday Friday. So around 10:30, depending on how crazy the market is or isn't, we are going to be doing the giveaway. So there's going to be 5 people. The winner of the marbles race will be getting $150 of cold hard cash. And then the 3 people selected off of locals, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, will all be getting a free Vanquish account. And just generically right now, 25% off and 1 free reset with the code GOONIE. GOONIE will get you 25% off and 1 free reset on Vanquish. If you don't know what Vanquish is, it is a SIM-funded prop trading, but it's for options. I know right now we see it becoming massively popular in futures, which I find to be interesting because there's so many more option traders out there. So if you're a person who would rather trade options, definitely check this out. And right now you could get in for a pretty sick deal, 25% off and a free reset while using that code GOONIE. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And obviously we're going to be giving away some of those free accounts today and $150 of cold hard cash just to celebrate the conclusion of another fun week in the world's largest casino. Right now, pre-market trading, there was an attempted recovery in the short term, kind of overnight here, maybe starting around 1, 2 in the morning. But you could see the 30-minute and the 4-hour got pretty beat up on both the S&P 500 and also on the NASDAQ. So I'll be paying close attention. Let me actually update some of these potential breakout and breakdown levels. I just want to see what's going on this medium term. You could see we were looking pretty good, but now as of this moment, we are scheduled to open at 5983. So coming back to the daily chart, definitely a gap down below the low of the past 4 to 5-ish trading days. So we might be doing a little bit of a retest of the low 5900s. I'll definitely be watching this low from Thursday, June the 5th as just a key technical level. But in terms of all the other key levels, here's what I'm seeing today. As I normally do, I map out the previous high, low, and close. Obviously, that is the green, the red, and the white. You're also going to notice the white box. It is north of where we are right now, roughly where my cursor is. If we were to open at this exact moment, this is where we would roughly open. So we're opening on the south side of this transitional zone. When I say transitional zone, that is literally where the gamma and the delta transition on the day. So above it bullish, below it bearish, within it most likely going to see some choppy price action. And then obviously the other thing is these yellow horizontal lines. Those are all the major open interest plays of the day, as in where we see large people playing. Granted, there are some plays all the way up here, but I don't think we're going to be talking about that today. I care a lot more of what's going on in this heavy positive gamma zone. But anyway, we see some players structuring at 6,000, 5,975, 5,950, and then 5,900 flat. I still find it so incredibly intriguing that right now the option chain in terms of open interest, has more calls than puts. Now, that's not necessarily bullish just because the open interest could be sold calls. They don't necessarily have to be long calls. And I think a lot of it has to do with this play that was seemingly executed even before the craziness of the overnight action. Just this play was in there for a bit. So that's probably why we have more of a call domination, even heading into this craziness than puts. So I think it was an older play, but even overnight, yeah, some puts were being played. But what's even the calls being played, the net situation, oddly enough, is it's actually call selling kind of, but also put selling. So the way that market participants decided to hedge themselves out or engage with the market overnight, definitely not what I would have anticipated it to be. I would have expected call selling and put buying, but instead we saw the call selling, not as much as I thought we would, but we also saw put selling as well, as in putting in kind of a floor at some of these key levels. So with the hecticness of what the headlines are going to be, just the craziness in the market, and kind of like not such an evident way that people played it more than we normally should, I would highly recommend some restraint at market open. Do not let your emotions lead the way. I'm not saying that this isn't an emotional time. Like, obviously, this is crazy. We might be staring World War III in the face. But what I am saying in terms of your trades today, you almost have to compartmentalize and don't just arbitrarily be ripping it. I feel it's very, very important for me to remind all of you watching this right now. Always pay attention to your downside risk. Your first, second, third, and all the way up to your first 10 questions should just be, what is your risk? What is your risk? What is your risk? Time and time again, that is like the massively important thing that you have to pay attention to. And when volatility expands, ranges get bigger, which means if you're betting the same size, you're actually probably taking on more risk than you're anticipating. So please, with these larger ranges, expansive volatility, pay attention to your position sizing. And then on top of your position sizing, please pay attention and honor whatever your risk is. If things break not in your favor and against you, you got to be systematic. You got to be robotic. You got to be emotionless, and you just got to get out. It's one of these things that, folks, I need to remind you, one trade is not going to make you. One trade is not going to be the thing that, like, whatever, sets you up for the rest of your life. But one trade very much could be the trade that breaks you, as in blows out your account. So please, as always, but especially today, I need to remind everyone, just stick to whatever your trading plan is. Hopefully you have a good trading plan. Don't do any of this bullshit of trading off your gut. And I know most of you guys do it, and it drives me up a fucking wall that so many people within the retail space, they just think that they have a gut feeling. They're like, well, no, I was told this is a good technical structure and blah, 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 blah. It's all this good gut feeling of whatever, of bullish volume, bearish volume. Like, it's random ass shit. So I do... you're not going to be able to change this most likely between now and market open, but maybe at some point today you put a little bit more effort into actually finding your trading, like your actual trading system, like your exact methodology. But once again, you're probably not going to be able to pull that off in the next 6 minutes. So I know that many of you do not have a trading system. Like I said, it like drives me up a wall. But for those of you who don't, you can still be somewhat reasonable today, and like even just assuming that it is normally distributed, like you have a 50-50 shot of it going in your favor or not, well, okay, that means you just need good risk management. Then you can still be profitable with a 50-50 shot. It is... Hey, all you have to do is make sure you're getting paid off more than when you lose. Your reward needs to be greater than your risk when you arbitrarily have a 50-50 shot. So for those of you who you're like, dude, I don't even have my positive expected value, this, that, or the other thing, you can still make it through the day, and it all comes back to risk management. In fact, I think there's a pretty good mathematical argument that your risk management side of things, your sizing side of things, is more important than your actual trading strategy. So even with that being said, like the fact that you might be like, dude, I don't know what my positive expected value is. I don't even know if I have positive expected value. You'll still be able to survive the day, once again, if you are borderline paranoid about what your downside risk is. I think that is massively important for me to remind you of, especially in these heightened emotional situations. But it's also just like good to know in a general sense. Every single day when you step into the arena that is this market, I think it's a good mantra just to really repeat to yourself in a certain sense. All right, let me get ready for this. 1 minute. All right. The market opens in about 5 minutes. Where is Palantir? How is Palantir reacting to all this? Palantir is actually down. Interesting. Yeah, most equities are going to be taking a hit right now. Most equities. Even this, like I see some people like, yo, your revenue comes from us, not trades. Me? No. No. Not. It's actually not even close. Holy shit, it's not even close. My producer is probably laughing out loud right now. If you think my content revenue is anywhere even close to what I make in trading, and I'm not even saying my trading's been that good this year. I think I'm up about, I don't know, on options about $300,000, on futures another 250. So I'm up about $500,000 trading, which I'm very excited about. My producer's literally laughing out loud right now. If you think that my content revenue, that's why when we do this, I don't give a shit about calling people like you retarded, because like financially, how much the content revenue matters to me. It's on any given day, I make or lose what I do in an entire year. Like my own trading on a given day, what I make or lose trading is what I would make in an entire year in terms of my content revenue. So like obviously I make money, but it's so small. It is like actually comically small relative to my own trading. Chaos, I make $6 a week. Yeah. Unfortunately, we pay Chaos based on the it's a scale factor of the content revenue, and he can't even afford ramen noodles. He can't even afford ramen noodles. Jesus. I wish. In a weird way, I wish you were right, because that would make my own life less stressful if I was like, nope, it's just content. And all I have to do is keep producing content, blah, 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 blah. Dude, I wish, that would make my life so much less stressful if all I had to do was stream it and whatever, that's a majority of my money and I move on with my life. Dude, that would be amazing. At one point in time, that was true. Back when I pulled serious numbers in the height of like the meme coin craze or the meme whatever trading craze, content was like I pulled so many numbers and had all these good deals, but those were the days. I would send in super chats if YouTube didn't get 30%. Dude, I appreciate the message. You don't have to send in the money. Just, hey, do something nice for whatever, your kid, your wife, your family. I don't know. If you go out this weekend for dinner, just throw in an extra tip, instead of throwing it here, give whoever your server is that extra money. I very much more so do this to just like fuck around and hang out with you degenerates throughout the day. I could easily just sit there and trade my own accounts and that, but it sounds so boring. Trading in itself could be like a very, very isolating thing, So I think it's useful to have a community as we do here, see what you guys are talking about. I hope you learn from me. I definitely learn from you guys. And then every once in a while, we all just get to together as a community, absolutely dunk on some people saying dumb things. Without YouTube, you could be trading by myself, I guess, which sounds like absurdly lonely. Do we need a Mac GoFundMe? By no means, folks. I do not need a GoFundMe. No. My server is not providing the best content on this side of the Mississippi. Well, that's a bummer. In reality, I only do this because I understand that I'm just in the finance space. I am obviously like the leading sex symbol. And I don't want to take that away from you guys. You've made my last 20 years in prison feel like a vacation. Love you guys. Jesus. I get it. No, that's why day in and day out, people just say, man, like, why are you still doing content? Why are you doing content? It's because I don't want to take away a sex symbol from you guys. That would be very, very selfish of me. I just sit there. If I kept my Adonis-like body hidden from the world, locked up in a room that no one else saw, that's the definition of selfish. That is absolutely the definition. Thick thighs, dude. Oh, Jesus. All right, folks. This is a serious show for serious people. Let's get rocking here. All right. Everything is dingity donging this morning. Everything is dingity donging this morning. All right. Actually, speaking of money, how much money am I up today? Well, that's not a bad play to wake up to. Obviously, I don't want anyone accusing me of this. I did not have insider war information, but for a completely different reason. I ended up buying IWM puts yesterday before the market closed. Pretty nice to wake up to a $11,000 return. That would be about, what, half a year of my content? I have to talk to my producer about it. But yeah, no, this one trade I think represents about like 6 months of how much YouTube pays me. So, like I said, I care much more about my trading, much like financially for me, like trading is very much what matters. Oh, we're going for that upside gap fill. We're going for that upside gap fill right out of the gate. Opened up pretty weak. We dropped, we popped. SPX is right at 6,000, so we are in that transitional zone, and we are a point away from getting the upside gap fill, as in hitting the previous trading session's low. We are almost there. Is he going to do it? Yep. Dingity ding. All right. Congrats to you. If you played the upside gap fill, it hit. It hit. It hit. It hit. So I would not have had the balls to play that. I like the upside gap fill play, dude. Everything's popping out of the gate right now. I like the upside gap fill play, but not when it's news driven. And obviously, we have some pretty freaking important news right now. So I definitely did not have the balls to play it. But if you did, congrats to you. Massive congrats to you. And I have said this 800 times today, and I'm going to repeat it one more time. I don't think there's do not let emotion somehow just mess you up today. We've seen these types of wild situations where it logically makes sense that whatever, something crazy happens in the market. So for example, it would make sense that the market sells off today. That makes sense. We just talked about literally potentially World War III. And then yet, look at this. First 2 minutes, people are just buying like no other. They're just buying the dip. So don't let your interpretation of if news is bullish or bearish get in the way of you just trading with flow, as in with price or options flow, price trend, whatever it is. At the end of the day, the price is the truth, not your personal interpretation of some piece of news. So I'm there with you. I would not interpret this news to be good whatsoever. And yet, look at that. The first 2 minutes out of the gate, the market's ripping. So I actually think, I think it's good in a weird sense to be informed, just because, I don't know, I think it's better for society if we all kind of know what's going on in the world. But when it comes to the market, I swear sometimes it's good to not even know what the news is and just to react accordingly. Just to look at the charts, look at areas of support, resistance, what is the flow, and not be applying your own opinions of what news either is or isn't to the situation. So with this, it's just your friendly neighborhood reminder to just wait, just chill. We know consumer sentiment comes out at 10 a.m. We know things are already pretty freaking tense. I'm seeing a lot of red, except for Palantir, oddly enough. I'm seeing a lot of red on the watch list. Palantir and oil are in the green. Gold's in the green. And as of right now, even though everything's kind of popping, we're still net red. You could see that above my head. So calm, cool. What is this one? I just got another update on, what is this one? Hang on, it's coming across. Our Air Force and Navy intercepted drones launched from Iran. That just came out from the Israeli military within the past minute. The market on open imbalance was negative on the S&P 500 and the Dow. It was positive on the NASDAQ and the Mag 7. Trump to the Wall Street Journal. This attack would be great for the market because Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Jesus Christ, that's an interesting way to spin it. I spoke with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu on Thursday and plan to speak with him again today. Once again, this is Trump speaking to the Wall Street Journal within the past 10 minutes. So as this news comes across, I will be doing my best to get it to you as rapidly as I possibly can. In the meantime, don't forget, we are doing a Payday Friday giveaway, so feel free to sign up. In real time, we're going to pick someone from both Rumble and YouTube. That's going to happen around 10:30, so wait for that to happen in about an hour. But what you can do is, and you're going to see people already doing it, 61 people have already figured it out, just whatever. I just need a way to contact you if you are the winner. Please don't add extra comments. Please don't have duplicate entries. If I see that you have a duplicate entry, like last week, you will be disqualified. So just throw in your name there. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. It is a Payday Friday. This one is partnered up with Vanquish. So if you want to do sim to funded prop trading with options, well, you could use that code Goonie to get 25% off and a free reset. Pretty amazing deal. And obviously they are doing it because they're celebrating partnering up with a brand new platform. Looks way better in my humble opinion than the previous one. A lot more intuitive. I just straight up like it better. So we're going to be messing around on that today. And in fact, I might take a trade here on this. Not right now, but I'm just saying if the Bulls cannot hold this transitional zone and we get this upside gap fill and it starts to fail, basically, I might take advantage of that. Of like not, basically the play would be if we don't hold 6,000, and that's kind of what I'm watching right here. So maybe I should just get ready in case it happens quickly. 6,000. We'll play 5,990. All right. We'll do a market order. And how many do I want of these? I just want to get the order ready. I just want to get it ready. And it is trading. Okay, interesting. All right. Just in case. Thus far today, here's a look at the Mag 7 options flow. We popped until about 933. Since then, flat, maybe slightly down. The S&P 500, same thing, popped for about the first 2 minutes, and since then, slowly but surely bleeding off. But I do want to remind you guys, we just don't have that much data. Ooh, it keeps going down. We have some put buying and some call selling. Interessante, mi amigo. Interessante for sure. Mag 7 more flat. The SPY just hit a fresh delta low, but price is holding pretty decently. I'm surprised about that. I am definitely surprised. Let me bring up the SPX over here. I mean, wow. How? I'm just surprised. I mean, look at this. This delta just keeps diving, and yet price is actually kind of spinning back around. It's getting a little bit of a pop there. What in tarnation? How is it holding on so nicely? When we just see this delta, I mean, we just keep seeing call selling and put buying. The delta just keeps dropping on the puts. It keeps dropping on the calls. And yet price is holding. That's a little bit of an interesting mismatch for sure. What time is it? 9:38. All right. So none of my bots switch here. Let me switch this up so you guys can see it. I just want to make sure I turn the bots on. All right. All right, this is day 2 of Skynet. Day 1 was a success. I was trading on one account. It was on this take profit account. And as you can see, it made $315. Other than that, I have 20 Apex accounts. They are fresh. Nothing has been traded there. And I'm just kind of waiting to see. I created this strategy myself, and the strategy does not turn on until 9:45. So that doesn't mean it trades at 9:45. It just means it's not allowed to do anything before 9:45. So 9:45 is one of the filters I use, that time filter. But other than that, I don't know. It's not the most fancy math, but it's math that I enjoy of the filters that it needs to actually trade. I cannot believe the SPY is holding on. Okay, hang on. The delta did start to pop a little bit. and try to make a bit of a recovery. But in this whole sell-off, man, price held pretty steady, even though the delta was getting hit. Mag 7, Mag 7 going for the new delta high. I guess the Mag 7 is leading the way today. People are buying this dip. 5-minute and 10-minute are bullish. Even the 30-minute is bullish now. Even the 4 hour is recovering. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4 hour, all 5 and 10 are legit green. 30-minute recovered, and even the 4 hours recovering here. This is a very, very good real-time example of sometimes using that bias of interpretation of the news. I cannot imagine how many people just due to pure panic out of the gate today sold, and yet you get environments like this. Well, we're starting to turn a little bit here. Uh-oh, the SPY's turning. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. All right. Create order. So I gotta fill. Close with a single order. All right. Where was my 12:30? So what I want to do is 12:30, 12:80. Confirm. All right. So I have a pending order there. So if this does take a little bit of a hit, I need to alter this because I don't need all of these, but I have you can see where I'm at above my head. Once again, I'm trading on Vanquish. This is sim-funded prop trading for the world of options. And let's let it ride. Let's see if I was waiting for a little bit of a pump, and what I'm looking for is just a retest of 6,000. I don't necessarily know if we're going to fall or not. Obviously, I have no crystal ball, but the theory on that trade is just a quick little retest of 6,000 and maybe a 15-minute Orbo breakdown. We're not even at the 15-minute Orbo yet, but we'll see. Man, this looks so much better than the previous platform. So much better. Okay, I don't need that. That's just kind of taking up space. Let's do a little strike. All right, I don't need all of these. Those are definitely some columns that are not 100% necessary. All right, let's wait. So first dose minutes of the day, we had a bit of a pop, and then by the time we got to minute 3, nothing. We are just going sideways. The tech is doing a little bit better. You saw some strength here in the Mag 7 right out of the gate, but even then, the delta flow is now sideways. S&P 500 popped, dropped, and now going sideways. So ever since, the first couple minutes, it's actually very, very indecisive. So let's just wait. I told you 9:45, but on the other accounts, I'm not trading on those until after that 10 a.m. We get consumer sentiment comes out at 10 a.m. So I took the sim position there on Vanquish just because I think we're going to retest 6,000. But I'm not doing anything too crazy until we get that 10 a.m. report, and the other stuff will just be traded by the bots. So they're gonna take care of what they take care of. So calm, cool, collected. Calm, undecisive candles everywhere. David knows what's up. All these indecisive candles, all just indecision everywhere. You can't trade when the candle is undecided. You have to have the patience to wait. That's all man, that pop was a big pop out of the gate. Big pop. We are holding 6,000 for now. I think we at least retest it, and upon the retest, I should be able to lock in some of this trade right here above my head. Currently, it's down a little bit, but like I said, if we get that slight retest, I should be looking good. Good. All right, in about 1 minute, Skynet will be untethered. It will be unshackled, and I just actually need to double. Okay, I did turn those on. So at any moment, if it likes what it sees, it might be taking some trades. Today, I decided to turn it on for both the NASDAQ and for the S&P 500. So I basically chopped it in half. So 11 accounts will be trading the NASDAQ, 10 accounts will be trading the S&P 500. So we're going to be watching it in 2 different tranches today. But as you can see here, no trades yet. And hopefully when it starts to trade, it is good. And how am I down on this? I thought I was going to be close to getting this fill. All right, calm, cool, collected, folks. Palantir's looking good. Oil is hanging out at 73 still. Dude, it is refusing to break this range. After the first 2 minutes of trading, nothing but range bound. The market has no idea what it wants to do today, which means as we are waiting for something to happen, do not forget to participate in Payday Friday. You can participate for free. We are giving away $150 of cold hard cash and 3 different Vanquish accounts. If you want to buy your own Vanquish account, code Goonie, 25% off and 1 free reset. So you can win them both. If you're a fast marble racer, you can get an account and $150 of cold hard cash. We're going to roughly do that around 10:30, depending on what is or isn't happening in the market. But it is pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video if you want to participate. In real time, we'll pick someone from YouTube. In real time, we'll pick someone from Rumble. But if you want to enter early, you could do that on locals. And also, it's going to be the 3 people selected from locals who get the Vanquish account. So that's going to be going down around 10:30. Like I said, Payday Friday, a little bit of a freebie. Oop, all right, I had to get my fill there. Speaking of Vanquish. All right. Whoa. Filled, sell to close. 250. Did I put in my fill at the wrong level? Oh, wait. No, that was the right level. I just didn't. I only had 5. That was my issues. I didn't have the proper amount, unfortunately. I should have gone bigger. But hey, little 250 locked in at the start of the day. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I'm not going to complain about it. Not going to complain about it. Money. All right, where are we? And all right, I'm just double checking. Sanity check over here. If this starts to break down, it is past. Okay, yeah. If we make fresh lows here, if this starts to break down, I think I know my bot will trade as long as I didn't mess up any of the code last night on it. But if we make fresh lows here and the candle closes below the fresh lows, the bot will take a short position on the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ. So just waiting to see if that actually does or does not happen. 10 minute, 1 minute. Let me switch this up. I don't want to miss it just in case my coding last night, just in case I broke something. Yeah, it needs a little bit more of a flush here. What happened? Okay, this is what happened. We are literally battling it out at the key level of the day. This is going to be very important of do the bulls hold 6,000 or do the bears push it below? So it's all going to be about the examination of supply and demand at this massively important level. It's a huge technical level. It's a huge psychological level. It's a huge options level. This is going to be the battle of the day. I can't tell you who's going to win, but I can tell you probably have a very good trading opportunity outside of it, whether it bounces or breaks down or whatever it is. You're probably going to get a nice tradable trend depending on who does or doesn't win this battle. So I'm not telling you should be bullish or bearishly biased. I'm just saying watch for the market's reaction to this, and then you're going to get a pretty good idea of if you're a scalp trader or a day trader, what side of the market you should be on today. The S&P 500 is trending down pretty aggressively while the Mag 7 is trending up. So those are completely contradictory pieces of information. Mag 7 up, S&P 5. Literally, the Mag 7 just hit a delta high while the S&P 500 just hit a delta low. So riddle me that one, Batman. Freaking riddle me that one. That's actually insane. That's wild. Wild. So just another aspect of indecisiveness. Looks like everyone is loading the boat up on Palantir. It's up 2%. It's either at a new all-time high or about to be. But everyone, I guess, is playing these the company who they. Have you guys seen all the memes on it already this morning? There's like some Pelosi memes of Iran's about to find out what Palantir does, and then all these other memes of like, I don't know what Palantir does, and at this point, I'm afraid to ask, all that type of stuff. But Palantir putting the NASDAQ on its back. All right. Where are we at? It's almost 950. It's almost 950, which means, like I said, depending on where this bar closes, the bot's going to trade. If we close below this, we're about to fuck around and find out. Let's see. Do we close above? Do we close below? Did I write the code properly? How much time do we have? We have 20 seconds for this bar to close. Oh, we might close above. Oh, we might. It's going to get close. Does the bot take its first trade of the day? Yes, no, maybe so. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. This is on the S&P 500. This is the ES contract. And then the NASDAQ is actually a bit farther away. Tech is a little bit too strong. So 10 out of these 21 might trade depending on where this bar closes. But the system is just identifying this as a key level of support. A key level of support. No surprise there. It is 2 ticks below 6,000. So pretty freaking important. I don't think it takes a rocket surgeon to realize why this is a key level. What language do you use to write your trade bot? I assume Python. Nope. It's called NinjaScript. It's basically C#, but it is specific to. Whoa. What intarnation? Look at how this level is getting defended. It's specific to NinjaTrader. They use NinjaScript, which is, I don't know, it's a C# variant. It's a C# variant. All right, something is happening. Is there news? Something is happening right now. What is the question? Does anyone, like, we just started popping out of nowhere there. The Qs got their 15-minute Orbo breakout, intraday high. The SPY pop, Palantir's going. Even the Russell, which was seemingly diving, got a pop there. I feel like we're missing something. I'm not seeing anything on Twitter right now. So is someone doing like a live press conference? What happened? The SPY options are still down, but the Mag 7 is popping like crazy. A lot of calls are being bought on the Mag 7, and then yet we see calls being sold and puts being bought on the S&P 500. Holy guacamole, Batman. Holy guacamole. Why didn't that trade? I really thought that was going to take. Oh. Oops. That's on me. I'm looking at the wrong chart. That's embarrassing. Oops. Oopsies. That's my fault, team. That's my fault. I really thought I was gonna trade, and then I realized I'm looking at the wrong freaking chart. Oops. Bull trap. Everything's a trap, dude. Life's a trap. Life is a trap. Man, the Russell. 211 down to almost 209. The small caps are, dude, Palantir just keeps ripping. Oil's at 72.5, losing a little bit, but still up 6.7%. We are trending down, but the tech sector is keeping the world alive. There is a clear, evident bullish demand in the Mag 7. So that's keeping things alive while the SPY is kind of getting clapped. So SPY getting rocked, Mag 7 rocking, and I guess they're kind of doing enough right now to kind of counteract each other. SPY slightly down, Q slightly up. Interesting. What was that pop, though? I don't see any news coming across. I do want to remind you that the consumer sentiment report is coming out in 7 minutes. All right, what are they talking about here?
Up some 6.6%, at the highest level it's seen in 3 months. Pippa
Right.
Stevens
Shares
is tracking all of that action, a lot of other commodities as well. Pippa.
That's right, David. So oil is still up 6%, but as you said, well off the highs of the session after WTI at one point jumped 14% overnight, underlining the fact that so far no oil supply has actually been disrupted, with several firms saying prices cannot sustain these levels unless barrels actually come off the market. The focus now turns to Iran's response, since that is likely what will dictate oil's next move. The country itself is not a major supplier, exporting about 1.5 million barrels per day. But the fear is that a wider conflict could disrupt the region's oil supply, including possibly in Saudi Arabia or Iraq. But the biggest possible impact could be a potential blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, with about 20% of global oil flowing through the key waterway every single day. CIBC Private Wealth's Rebecca Babin said it's still a low probability scenario, but that the odds are rising as the situation evolves. Also, keep an eye here on global nat gas. European prices jumping 5%. The Strait of Hormuz is the sole export route for Qatar and the UAE, which together make up about 20% of global LNG supply. Guys?
Pippa, thanks. Quite a remarkable story, and it's not just about the raw commodity. The XLE, I think, is up every single day this week, and we know what a lag it's been on the overall index, as Scott Cronin was alluding to earlier, not just on the price action of the shares, but also earnings power, too. We'll see what energy can do.
Mom?
Already a bit. I mean, for the week to date, it's up almost 5%. So we saw a bit a little bit earlier on this idea that some of the losers were being bought, Carl, but yes, today it is the only sector higher, and that's largely geopolitical, as Pippa laid out.
VIX briefly popped above
What the
20,
fuck
then
just
back
happened?
below, currently hovering right around those levels. I would argue the only one corporate story we didn't get to, guys, was this journal piece about Walmart and Amazon considering their own stablecoin, which is a story, but the bigger fallout has been the impact on Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah, it has. I'm glad you mentioned it. Visa shares down over 5%. MasterCard similar, one would expect. You know, the idea is they pay so much interchange fees. There's the friction around just with their billions of transactions that take place.
Skynet's going rogue, team.
If, in fact, you launch your own stable coin, you might be able to eliminate
Skynet
a lot of that.
is
the
going
Genius Act that's
rogue.
still working its way through Congress obviously proves very important for this.
Yeah, although Janet Yellen told us yesterday that she didn't think it actually had enough protections in it and didn't see a use for stablecoin, which is interesting given the story that just came out.
That was the last administration. They didn't like crypto or anything around it. This administration does.
Embraces it more. Yeah, but here's a use case, I guess, to the point where we haven't really seen it otherwise.
And I mean,
why is Skynet going rogue?
Circle is another example of that. One of the most popular stablecoins having gone public, and you've seen what's happened there. Similarly, as they move forward as a public company and into continue to innovate, they also may prove a threat, perhaps one day down the road for the Visas and the MasterCards.
It also helps Treasuries and the dollar because that's how they're backed. They have to buy it.
You have to buy them.
So the more more companies get into this, more issuers, there's
I don't
potentially
know.
more buying. That.
I'm afraid to ask.
Meanwhile, not a lot of movement since the open. Dow's still down about 600. S&P just below 6K. And as Sarah mentioned, energy, the only sector in the green. Stay with us.
The only sector in the green. The only one. I am at a loss for what the fuck is going on. How's my position doing? I'm still riding this. I haven't gotten out. I'm still riding. Not a bad deal. Up today, I'm up 13.8. I got into this yesterday. Not that I knew this shit would happen. It was because my bot told me to buy puts. But I'm not going to complain about a $14,000 swing and a net unrealized gain of about 12K. This is my only swing position right now. And it obviously is working out pretty decently. The SPY is just getting rocked all day. Oh, the Mag 7 finally faltering. I was curious why there was such a disconnect between the Mag 7 and then the S&P 500, but we're finally seeing a little bit of agreement in terms of trend starting at 953. I do want to remind everyone, in a minute and a half, we have 90 seconds until consumer sentiment comes out. So we are breaking down below this as well here. My next target, if you are short right here as a day trader, scalp trader, my next major open interest level, the next major options level would be 5975. But I do want to call out that in 90 seconds, we are getting a data drop, which is going to probably be important. So please pay attention to that. Please pay attention. Heading into it, Mag 7 faltering, SPY continuing to be bearish. We try to, things starting to look a little rocky right now. Even Palantir is giving back some of this gain. So calm, cool, collected. We're about to be 30 minutes into the day and right at 10 a.m. at the new hour. Not only are we going to have the 30-minute Orbo, which looks like it might be breaking down, but on top of that, we are going to be getting the consumer sentiment report. The old consumer sentiment report. Interesting. Which way is this going to go? What's everyone's best guess? Bullish or bearish? You have 10 seconds to guess. 10 seconds to guess. Are you bullish or bearish on this report? Which way are we going to pop? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I guess bullish was the answer. Wow. The market liked it. The market liked the consumer sentiment report. I'm not seeing the numbers yet.
Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber, live as always for you at post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Stocks are selling off, not an extreme reaction after Israel launched airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Oh, we also got
overnight.
breaking University of Michigan sentiment prelim 60.5 forecast was 53, so coming in higher. 1 year inflation 5.1, the expectation was 6.4. 5 year from Michigan 4.1 versus 4.1.
500.
So Michigan numbers actually helping
right now because of that move in oil prices. Everybody else is lower. Consumer
Is it
staples
just
are
gonna
holding
get
up the
faded,
best.
though?
Not a surprise. The defensive names, staples, utilities, healthcare, all outperforming. Financials, for instance, consumer discretionary.
All
And
right,
tech, the
let's
travel
mark
names
out that
under pressure
30-minute
in particular.
Orbo.
Take a look at treasuries. Not a huge rush towards safe haven assets. Gold's a little bit firmer. The dollar's a little bit firmer, but Treasury prices are not. Yields are actually higher, 4.4. Maybe the concern there is on the inflationary impact of higher oil prices right now. We are going to discuss it all hour long. Israel striking Iran, the global market's impact. We've got a great lineup of experts for you to break it all down. Mohammed El-Arian from Allianz, oil and energy expert Paul Sankey, former Trump National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Will all be our guests.
H.R. McMaster? What a sick name.
With the latest on Israel and Iran and how Washington is
All
responding.
right, I marked out the 30-minute Orbo high and low.
Good morning again, Carl. So the president making a round of calls to reporters this morning, telling various outlets, including the Wall Street Journal, that he and the administration knew about Israel's plans to attack Iran before they happened. He also called the attacks very successful, said that he had spoken with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday, and Netanyahu's office now says the two men do plan to speak again today. All of those comments coming after the president earlier this morning posted that he had given Iran chance after chance to make a deal, but that they just couldn't get it done. He says Iran now has perhaps a second chance, warning them to make a deal now, he says, before there is nothing left. So standing very closely aligned with Israel here, even after the White House first emphasized overnight that Israel was acting unilaterally and that the U.S. was not involved in these initial attacks. Iran clearly seeing no daylight between the U.S. and Israel, saying that the attack would not have been possible without U.S. coordination and that the U.S. should be responsible then for the consequences of its action. So as a result, the U.S. now bracing for retaliation in the region while warning Iran against it. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying that Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. And on Capitol Hill, hearing similarly, House Speaker Mike Johnson saying this morning that Israel was clearly within its right to defend itself and that, quote, Iran will face grave consequences if it responds by unjustifiably targeting U.S. interests. The U.S. now on high alert in the region, calling for voluntary departures for non-essential staff earlier this week. And the AP just in the last few minutes now reporting that the U.S. is shifting military resources around in the region in response to this idea of potential retaliation, guys, as soon as later today.
Megan, to the extent that there had always been an expectation if there was an attack on Iran, it might be led by the U.S. and assisted by Israel, or at the very least in significant coordination ahead of time. Do we know why the Israelis chose now to undertake this attack?
They say that there are a few reasons. They think that this was an existential crisis for them and that it was becoming to the point where Iran clearly did not seem to be getting any closer to a deal with the U.S. There are some reports that some of its uranium enrichment that the U.S. might have been agreeing to or likely to agree to in a deal was going further than Israel could really accept. There were also international bodies that just this week began to warn about Iran's nuclear capabilities and how close they were getting to the ability to develop a nuclear weapon. So a lot of things there that Israel said it had to happen now, but it does seem like it came for the U.S. side. That's what we're still parsing here between the different reactions so far, but it seems like the U.S. was still trying to pursue these negotiated talks before this type of approach was taken. That's sort of the fine line here, and we're still waiting to hear more from the White House on that.
Never a good sign when the UN Nuclear Watchdogs Board declares Iran in breach of non-proliferation obligations, something they haven't done before and haven't necessarily been supportive of. Thank you, Megan. Megan Casella. As for world leaders, we're monitoring their reaction to see sort of where everyone is coming in and what might happen next. Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, posting, "The reports of these strikes are concerning, and we urge all parties to step back and reduce tensions urgently. Escalation serves no one in the region. Stability in the Middle East must be the priority, and we are engaging partners to de-escalate. Now is the time for restraint, calm, and a return to diplomacy." I think
Mag 7 kind of flat after that rip, while the S&P 500 is flat off of a dip.
Saying that they're highly
We
concerned
are
about
below
Israel's
6,000
attacks on
though.
Iran,
We have
deeply
not
worried about the potential
recovered
serious
that
consequences
level.
of these actions, and opposes any violation of Iran's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. Opposes actions that escalate tensions and expand the conflict. You know, that's when we start to worry about how the sort of battle lines are being drawn around the world if China would support Iran, if there's some sort of broader confrontation from the U.S. Saudi Arabia also, people are, in the markets, we're always looking to see where they stand publicly, at least. The foreign minister is saying His Highness expresses the kingdom's condemnation of the blatant Israeli aggression against the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran. His Highness affirmed the kingdom's rejection of the use of force and stressed the importance of dialogue to address disputes. His Highness also emphasizes that the Israeli attack undermines efforts aimed at de-escalation and reaching diplomatic solutions. So there's a lot of...
We're like right on the edge of the NASDAQ actually getting cracked
which
here.
Is clearly something President Trump
but
was
it just
trying,
keeps
but
getting
the Iranians
defended.
Rejected that. As for the market impact, where you look first, guys, we've been talking it. Obviously, crude oil, WTI, and Brent spiking, although coming off the highs. The U.S. dollar is strengthening against other major currencies. Again, not a huge move right now. It's up 4/10, and as Santoli said earlier, was due for a bounce because it's been very oversold and almost at a
Apple's
three-year
getting
low.
hit. Jesus.
Gold higher, Bitcoin lower, just kind of an interesting dynamic.
Bitcoin's up
there
1.6%. VIX is up almost 13%.
Right now, but again, not an extreme move. And then treasuries. We look
Oil's
at treasuries
actually
because they're
taking
selling
a dip,
off.
even though it's
and
up
during
about
sort of extreme
6.7.
periods of uncertainty and a rush to safety, you see buying of treasuries. Is it a sign that treasuries are no longer safe havens? Probably not, because as I mentioned earlier, you're not seeing extreme buying of any global bonds. It's not like Swiss bonds are proving a safe haven or Japanese bonds right now, certainly not European bonds. So we'll continue to monitor the fallout. But David, when you ask about the equity market reaction not being as sharp or severe as you might have thought, the bond market told you that it wasn't necessarily an extreme fear moment.
All right,
right
is
now,
this
whether
the
it's because
breakdown?
it looks contained to the region, or we don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. Whatever it is, that's the market reaction.
Although, to your point, we don't know what's going to happen next. And so, yeah, sometimes you would expect the reaction to be more severe, perhaps, because of that, given it raises, obviously, a lot more uncertainty.
I mean, the fact that the U.S. was not involved and is sort of aligned, but
Mag 7 still looking weak. Or, excuse me, Mag 7 is actually trying to show more strength, while the SPY is still weak.
People are looking at the president's post this morning where he says he told Iran that this could be worse than they know and that the United States makes the most advanced and lethal military equipment in the world. I mean, that's the kind of language that makes you have to second guess whether or not we're truly going to remain in a non-participatory role.
That is the whole question, is what is the U.S. role going to be in all of this, and what does the U.S. need to do, and how much progress has Israel made overnight when it comes to dismantling, and what else do they need to do? Because even the Israeli authorities have said this is not it's not over. This is going to continue until we feel like the threat is reduced.
Let's talk some more about the market reaction this morning. We also just got the preliminary read on UMISH, better than expected, coming in at 60.5. We were looking for 54, and the one-year inflation drops from 6.6 down to 5.1. That's a pretty big drop. Joining us this morning, Allianz Chief Economic Advisor Mohamed El-Arian.
All right, this is who I wanted to listen to.
It's a treat for us to be able to get your take on the news of the day. I did read this morning that you feel that this news out of the Middle East is net maybe stagflationary. Does that explain some of the action in treasuries?
It is stagflationary. The question, Carl, is how stagflationary is it? And that's a function of what you just talked about. How many more attacks are we going to see from Israel? What will retaliation look like? So we don't know, but the direction of travel is clear. What's happened to Treasury is due to something else. the world is losing confidence in the sovereign side of the U.S. So if you're looking for safe haven flows, you won't find them in the treasury market. Why? Because the world starts overweight the U.S. So there isn't much appetite to increase your overweight on the bond side. The other thing that's
Russell's
good for the
getting a
equity
bounce.
market is you hear
Tech
investors
is not,
distinguishing
though.
between the sovereign side and the corporate side. And that's why the equity sell-off is not as big as you would have expected otherwise.
So those who are
Interesting.
looking to either lighten up U.S. or hedge their U.S. weight, they're going to do it on the sovereign debt side as opposed to equities. Is that fair?
That's fair. They can't do it very quickly because it's not
Showing
clear
some
where you
weakness
go
here in
to.
the Mag
There's nothing
7,
to
fresh
replace the
low.
US. But what you're seeing them do is go little
Order
by little
filled.
to many places.
2.7. So I made 250, and then that was
has surpassed the
damn.
euro
I crushed
as
that
the
one.
second largest
2,750 locked in
component
there.
of
Once again,
central
just
bank's
fucking around
international
on some
reserves.
Vanquish
And
SPX
that's a
puts.
function of people looking to
But
reduce
basically just
their
caught that hit right
US
there. But
bond
nice.
exposure.
2.7K.
But, I mean, we haven't really seen evidence of that, Mohammed, in the auctions. There's been plenty of demand for that. And when there's a weak economic report, people rush back into treasuries. And then, like I said earlier, you know, it's not like the European bonds are rallying right now. It's not.
Order
it could
submitted.
just be
Whoa.
that the takeaway from this is that
Why is it trading
we
on
might see
all
higher
the
inflationary
accounts?
pressure, as you said, and ultimately that's going to make it harder for the Fed to cut rates.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at the auctions too much because there's a lot of stuff maturing. So you really want to look at net holdings. That's what really matters. And the evidence is net holdings coming down.
Well,
Also, Sarah,
not going to complain about it. So some of them were already up 50, and then that was another 100 right there. What the fuck?
They sell off on a risk on day. They sell off on a risk off day. They sell off with the dollar stronger. They sell off with the dollar weaker. So what we're seeing is Treasury yields have become less predictable compared to what's happening elsewhere.
I think I've lost control of Skynet.
The market. What we're also seeing is gold has also broken its correlations, and its tend to goes up despite what's happening elsewhere. So I think if you look deeply, you would be worried, and that's part of a bigger issue.
I've lost control of
the global
Skynet.
order relied on the U.S.
I don't know what it's doing. It has a mind of its own.
And what we are seeing are little pipes being built around the U.S. This is a very gradual fragmentation of the global order, but it's something we have to pay attention to.
Yeah, well, it's a significant statement to say that it's no longer seen as an absolute safe haven in times of turmoil, Mohammed. So I'm curious, though, what could change that dynamic or exacerbate it on the other side? I mean, the big, beautiful bill, not a good thing.
All right,
in your
Orbo
opinion?
breakdown on the SPY. We're
as
almost
well
going to get
sort
an
of the
Orbo
tariff
breakdown
regime
here
and
on the
some hostility
Qs.
from other countries?
Let's pay
What's behind
attention to
it?
that.
I think first, it's policy-induced volatility. That's something that the rest of the world isn't used to. The U.S. is supposed to be the most predictable player. The second is the extent to which the market implied probability of recessions has gone all over the place. Remember, we started the year with less than 10% market implied probability of recession. We went up to over 70%. Now we're back below 30%. That's not supposed to happen for the largest economy with the most mature institution and the most dynamic private sector. People are paying attention to that. So what you need is more predictable policies, and you need the restoration of this trust in U.S. growth exceptionalism, which is something that has benefited not just the U.S., but the world.
Meanwhile, Mohammed, on another day, we might be talking about trade and the progress of getting more frameworks. Some headlines today talking about how India is hardening its position, Japan hardening its position regarding some of the
Orbo
auto tariffs.
breakdown on the
Do you get a
SPY
sense that at those negotiating
within
tables,
40
they're
cents
sensing
on the
the
Qs.
vulnerability that you're talking about?
I don't know, Carl, because I'm not in the room, but these are complex issues. There's a reason why people favor the multilateral approach.
Oh, the Mag 7 finally
and that
showing
is negotiating
some
country by
reasonable
country is
action.
really difficult.
But right here,
And
starting
you
at
risk ending up with a spaghetti bowl
10:09,
of
the Mag
concessions
7 got
here
clocked.
and no concessions here. So
SPY's
it's
still
just a
trending
more
down.
complicated task, and the negotiators are now talking about a much bigger range of issues than I think they anticipated.
So, Mohammed, just to get back to your primary statement here about the allure of treasuries, you yourself said there's not many alternatives So where do you go if you're looking for safety right now? Is gold really the only spot?
And that's the dilemma for a lot of people, including sovereign wealth funds. They know
all right, this guy's getting a little boring
leave.
here. Let's get off of that. So SPY making a fresh low, Q's no, and then the Russell did back before the turn of the hour. So initially we had a positive reaction to the Michigan numbers, lower inflation than expected in terms of their predictions, and then also consumer sentiment itself coming out higher than anticipated. So that gave us a little bit of positivity at 10. You can see it didn't even hold for 3 minutes though on the SPY and the Qs. Not long after that, fresh low. It's holding a bit better in the small cap sector. Oh, do I need to trade this really quick? What's the flow? Do I need to Mag 7's getting hit, SPY's getting hit? Who knows? All right. Who knows? All right. I put in a pending order. Will it ever give me a fill though? I guess, do I just want to be patient and wait, or do I want to market this order in? So thus far, so good on the day. So the futures accounts anywhere between 100 and 150. 2 trades that I think I get, but not fully. And then on Vanquish, made $2,750 off 2 trades over there. And then I am attempting to sell a little bit of premium in my other account right now, but it is not going according to plan. How am I not getting this fill? Is it just, it can't be illiquid. What time is it? It's 10:16. The liquidity should be through the roof right now. Ninja, do you really want to disconnect? Well, why am I not? Folks, everything's turning against me. It's all turning against me. This is what happens. It brings Skynet to life. This is how it repays you. All right, I'm trying to update this order. Now I feel like I'm almost chasing it to the downside, though. Dude, how is this not getting a fill? Am I about to get tilted, folks? Here's a quick look. Oh, dude, the SPY still, it just cannot. Every time it looks like it catches a breather, even that good report at 10, look at that. It was so quickly faded. And even the Mag 7 is starting to puke now. Jesus. Well, price momentum is clearly favoring the bears. Like the delta. You can see on the S&P 500, call selling, put buying. You are removing positive delta. You are adding negative delta. Both have the net impact of dropping it. And that's why we're getting a reading of minus 2 billion in the delta. Mag 7 was holding everything together. And then at 10:10, obviously that started to get rocked as well. So all that call buying quickly turned into call selling. So once again, removing quite a bit of positive delta. So the options momentum in real time clearly favoring the bears. Price momentum is a little different story. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, and the 30-minute are all testing. They're all trying to figure out if they should be breaking down or not. So the 10-minute tested pop, 5-minute tested pop, 30-minute is right at it. So let's see if it can hold on the north side or the south side. That's for the S&P 500. But this same situation is playing out in the NASDAQ right here. They all popped and now testing. The 4 hour is actually showing some weakness though. Interessante. Small cap sector, kind of looking like everything else. Here, let me mark out that fresh low. The SPY did break its 30-minute Orbo to the downside, and then the Qs got close, but did not break their 30-minute Orbo yet. If you don't know what the Orbo is, it's the opening range. It's the first whatever time frame you care about bar of the day. So it could be whatever, 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 6 minutes, or 60 minutes. If you use the 60-minute, you're also going to hear that referred to as the initial balance. I don't know why it's called the initial balance, but whatever. So a lot of people like to trade either the breakout or the breakdown of that initial range, the Orbo opening range. It's literally just that first bar of the day for whatever time frame you care about. I've done quite a bit of research on it. I have to admit, the statistics surrounding the 15-minute Orbo are not special. They are actually pretty impressive when you get to the 30-minute, and then they're very impressive when you get to the 60-minute. So that is definitely something you could create a trading strategy around. You might be able to find the 15-minute and get it to work, but from what I've seen studying the 15-minute Orbo, at least how it's played out historically, it's kind of a 50-50 game. I like it in terms of, just gives you an idea of support and resistance, but in terms of a linear trade outside of it, of like, oh, I want to play the breakdown, I want to play the breakout, there's literally a 50-50 shot that it reverts the other way. Oh, fuck. I forgot to send that trade in. Help me. Help me. I've fallen and I can't get up. Help. Help. Help me. I've fallen and I can't get up. All right. All right, if you are in the Discord, I am working as quickly as I can to get this screenshot in. Discord was having weird issues yesterday with all those web services being down. All right, at here. Well, we got some sort of breakdown. Some sort of breakdown. Well, there she goes. There she blows. Wow. There she goes. Shiver me timbers. Big tree fall hard. Big tree fall hard. Well, fresh low. Big tree fall hard. Interesting. Big tree fall hard. Wow. Wow. The Mag 7 dumped right there. And the SPY just keeps bleeding. Let me check one of these other tools for you guys. I just want to get a better idea of a potential floor and ceiling. Yeah, maybe. Ew, this could get ugly today. All right. According to the Greek profile, 6,000 is now a ceiling. 5950 is also getting called out. But maybe that could get cracked. Interesting. Interesting. So the Orbo clearly broke down. Ooh, look at that. Piper also fired. Oh. All right. Here, if you're in the Discord. What is today? Today's the 13th. I just want to make sure I typed it all properly. Alas, I did. All right. If you are in the Discord, I posted my day trade in there. Piper also fired, so that's in there. It looks like the news feed is now working once again. And then, obviously, you could check out Swingers for my swing plays. That's where we're at. We're all looking lower high here on the Russell. Maybe the Russell's going to snap. So the Russell is the last thing we're kind of waiting on. The SPY made the 30-minute Orbo breakdown. So did the NASDAQ. The final thing holding on is the Russell here. Technically not breaking this 957 low. So let's see how she plays out. All right, I'll put an alert here for a fresh low. And then we're still waiting on that Orbo breakdown on the Russell. 5-minute trying to save itself right here. It is on the south side of the EMA cloud. That's all this is. If you're wondering what this indicator is, it's literally just various EMAs put together. So the 5-minute on the bearish side, 10-minute seemingly bouncing, and the 30-minute very indecisive. Doesn't know which way it wants to go. Looking at the NASDAQ, the 5-minute bounced, the 10-minute bounced, the 30-minute not on the side you would want it to be on if you're a bull. And other than that, the 4-hour is actually also bearish, so that's a bit concerning. Actually, the fact that both of these are on the bearish side is a bit concerning. That can't be good. That's not a good vibe. Here's a look at the flow. SPY is just getting hit. Even the Mag 7 is getting rocked right now. Even the Mag 7. All right, I think I need to queue up a couple orders here and there. Queue up a couple orders. What do you guys think I should be trading right now? As my financial advisors, what would you guys recommend? As my beloved financial advisors, what would you guys recommend? Dude, vol is picking up. Oh. What would you guys done? All right. My financial future is in your hands, folks. Just need you to know that. Need you to know that. Whether I'm eating steak and caviar this weekend or if I'm licking the inside bag of a ramen noodles, it is all 100% on you guys. Undoubtedly on you guys. All right, we did that. All right, let me update here. All right, I also did something in Swingers, so if you're in the Discord, pay attention to all the major channels because your boy is slinging it. He is slinging it, and look at that. It is almost time to do the Payday Friday giveaway. The final reminder to get right now, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. Sign up. It is free. You just throw your name in the way all these other people are. So I just need a way to reach out to you. So if you are the winner, I could give you your money. I could give you the Vanquish accounts. I just need a way to reach out to you. So what we're going to do is we'll do this last, as in you'll have the most time. Like I said, check it out. It's in the description of the video. It's pinned to the top of chat. You can't miss it. It is free to throw your hat into the arena. But in real time, we are going to be selecting our competitors from both YouTube and from Rumble. Dashboard timers. All right, nope, giveaways. All right, so let's pick our YouTube representative. Random number next. Everyone can participate next. It is going to be a number between 1 and 100. So we are going to be running it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guess away, guess away, guess away. Well, Chad. Chad. What a Chad, dude. I like him already. Chad. What a fucking Chad. All right. Random number generator. We're going to pick someone off of Rumble between 10 and 25. Generate 18. 18. All right. We got to pause that for a second. All right. We are going for the 18th comment. 22. Did I just regenerate it? Uh-oh. What was... Now the market's breaking down. Holy shit. Well, I saw 18 and then I saw 22. The only fair thing I could do is give it to both people because I don't know what I did. So I'm going for the 18th and the 22nd comment, pass Mrs. Tag. So, and I'm going to allow both because I think I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Jefferson, 19, 20, 21, 22. And virtual Chuck. All right, so Jefferson and virtual Chuck. All right, so the three of you, Chad and YouTube, and then Jefferson and virtual Chuck from Rumble. Guys, you cannot leave chat. If you leave chat and then you're the winner, we're going to have a real tough time reaching out to you and getting you your winning. So do not leave chat. If you identify as Chad, if you identify as Jefferson, if you identify as virtual Chuck, do not leave chat. Do not leave. All right. And then how many people do we have in here? Let's get our people off of locals or competitors off of locals. There's 106. So between 1 and 106. 77. Okay. 25. All right. And then 29. All right. Those are our people. So there's 25 per page. So one of them was 25. Real spicy chef. All right. So chef. All right. And then the next one was 29. So 25, 26. What the fuck is this? 26, 27, 28, 29. Turf dog. And then 77. So the end of this one is 50. The end of this one is 75. 76, 77. Ruma. All right. We have our competitors. We have Chad. We have Jefferson. We have Virtual Chuck. We have Real Spicy Chef. We have Turf. And we have Ruma. We have 6 competitors today because I messed up a little bit on the Rumble side. So there are 2 people representing Rumble today. Very quickly, a shout out to Vanquish. Check them out. Use that code Goonie to get 25% off. 1 free reset. And I was trading with them this morning. And that's exactly how I made 2.7K. Crushing it. All right, here's a quick look at the flow. SPY is not looking so good. Mag 7 not looking so good. Fresh low on the SPY, fresh low on the Qs. The Russell is oddly holding on. We are getting lower highs, but it has not broken that low quite yet. Interesante, mi amigo. In my little huevos rancheros. All right, where is this game? Dude, I am crushing it today. Dude. Your boy's making some dinero. Your boy's making a couple, 2-3 shekels. Dude, my local taqueria is going to see the ugly side of sangria tonight. I can guarantee you that. As soon as 12:01 hits, as soon as it's socially acceptable to start drinking, my local taqueria, I could tell you today, is going to see the ugly side of sangria. If you are there, and you see some pasty white dude with his shirt off and a cowboy hat wearing frayed jean shorts, some jorts, ripping his 4th pitcher of sangria, just understand that I'm in my happy spot. Just understand I am in my happy spot. All right? You don't need to stop it. You don't need to call the local authorities. You just take it in all of its glory. Take it in all of its glory. I'm telling you, they're going to see the ugly side of sangria. Where is this game? Is it on Steam? Yeah. Games, view games, library, marbles. All right. Let's give away some cash. Let's give away some cold, hard cash. All right. Nope. Cancel. Hey, stop it. All right, so the first thing we have to do, play, race. All right, what's the map? We are playing the Raging Pin. That seems aggressive. All right, there's 5 people. How do I, right here, add names. All right, we're going to have to add an extra one. Nope, don't need that. All right, first one, Chad from the Red Land of YouTube. Then we have Jefferson from Rumble. We have Virtual Chuck, also from Rumble. We have the Real Spicy Chef from Locals. We have Turf Dog from Locals, and then we're going to add one more, and we also have Ruma from Locals. So we have 6 competitors. All right, finish. We have that. All right, cool. Let's just get a little bit of tendies and tunes rocking in the background. Something to bump on out to. All right, videos. A new song. Pump Fiends featuring Rick Santelli. Love it. All right, let's get this ready. Now, before we actually get rocking today, because we are all degenerate gamblers as this is loading, who are you guys betting on? Who do you think is best prepared for this particular race today? What competitor on the screen right now do you think has put in enough training, practice, and has that perseverance and that grit to really win? Who are you pulling for? Who do you, if you had to bet, and you guys should bet, who do you think is going to win? Do you think Chad from YouTube is going to win? Do you think Jefferson or Virtual Chuck from Rumble are going to win? Do you think Real Spicy Chef, maybe Turf, or maybe, wait, are we missing someone? Hang on. Why was Rumen out there? All right, random map. Death Alley. Oh, it's because I didn't put the right. All right, so new map, same. Instead of 5 people, it's 6 people. We were missing Ruma. We were missing a competitor. I almost cheated Ruma out of an opportunity for a life-changing payout of $150. What the fuck? And now this is even wrong. Folks, this is a bad start. Why is it not working? Now, I almost cheated everyone out of it. Now that time, random. All right, we are now on multi-lane madness. Bots, we have 6. Did I do it right this time? Yes, no, maybe so. Did I do it? Okay, now we have it. We have Ruma there, Virtual Truck, Turf, Chad, Real Spicy Chef, and Jefferson. We have all 6 competitors doing exactly what we need to do. All right, sorry about that. I almost messed it. I almost ruined everyone's weekend, and for that, I apologize. I literally could have ruined every single person's weekend. That would have been absolutely horrible. So good thing we saved it just in the nick of time. All right, you guys know what to do. Throw down your bets. Give me your best bet of who you think is going to win. This is a winner-take-all type of a situation. We're talking not just a marble race, but a marble race with prison rules where the only thing that matters is who is the first person, who is the first racer to cross that finish line. And we're going to be finding out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But then he grabbed the mic on the floor.
And our boy Rick is ripping it. Ruma taking an early lead, followed by Virtual Chuck. Virtual Chuck, Chad, and Jefferson catching the speed up. Virtual Chuck. Whoa. Jefferson. What the fuck was that? Jefferson's dead. Everyone, I repeat, Jefferson has perished. All right, Virtual Chuck leading the race. Virtual Chuck, Chad, and Turf Dog taking a different path than Ruma and Real Spicy Chef. Ruma forgetting they are in a race. Seems like this is Virtual Chuck and Chad's race to... Oh, Virtual Chuck is dead. Chad saved himself. All right, we already have 2 deaths. I should have updated the health insurance for this race, but it is what it is. It is now a race between Chad and Turf Dog. Chad and Turf Dog are throwing it down, and let's see who can get through the topsy-turvy, spinny. Turf Dog ripping through it. Turf Dog in second, now in first, leaving Chad in his dust. Chad getting caught. Turf Dog taking advantage of the rare misstep from Chad. Real Spicy Chef and Ruma way in the back. Turf Dog is running away with this race. Whoa, is that a floating marble? Is that a dead marble? Are we looking at a dead body? Can Turf just finish out the race? Uh-oh. Can he keep it together, or will the pressure get to him, folks? Turf Dog. Massive congratulations. Massive congratulations. Ruma trying to finish this race valiantly. Chad, you had a good start, and then it just couldn't handle the pressure. Could not handle the pressure of the race. Ruma trying to finish up, followed by Chad, followed by Real Spicy Chef, and RIP Virtual Chuck, RIP Jefferson. Looks like both of the representatives of Rumble got murdered. But Turf Dog, congratulations. Obviously, I'll be reaching out to you for your winnings, so be on a lookout for an email or a DM from me. Whoa, what is this? China has approved some new U.S. pork and poultry. All right, interesting. Oh, a little bit of a pop. I guess nothing like a little bit of marble racing to get the market popping. Chad, you had an opportunity, but you let YouTube down. Virtual Tuck and Jefferson, You guys had an opportunity, but you let Rumble down. In fact, you guys really died. And Jefferson especially, you died quick. Congratulations to Turf. Well, really, congratulations to all of the competitors, but special shout out to Turf for winning. And then also Real Spicy Steph, Turf, and Ruma. You will also all be getting an account on, or a free credit, I should say, on Vanquish. So check those guys out. Make sure you have an account there so they can give you that credit. And I just want to make sure that my bot's not about to completely screw me here. Hang on one second. Uh-oh. I'm a little bit confused.
Order submitted.
Oh, it did trade. Uh-oh. Just in the nick of time, we have Spynet just ripping it. But this time it did it right. Oh, wait. Okay, I see what happened. I definitely messed up the copier on that first one. That's why it went all haywire.
Order filled.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Thus far, 3 for 3 on the day. So some of these up 200, some of them up 150. Thus far, Skynet 3 for 3 on the day. I will take it. I will take it. Loving Skynet. Skynet 1 had to die for Skynet 2 to have a shot. So RIP Skynet 1. We're going to pour one out for you. RIP Jefferson, RIP Virtual Chuck. Not everyone's going to survive the gauntlet. Not everyone's going to survive. Where are we at over here? Where are we at? The Qs. I wanted SPX. Okay, SPX bouncing perfectly off of the target level that I called out before the market even opened. Folks, am I a person from the wizarding world of Harry Potter? Potentially. No one really knows. How do I get so good at calling out these levels? Is it a deep mathematical understanding of the options market and support and resistance? Or do I have some sort of clairvoyant ability given to me from the market gods themselves? No one really knows. The jury's out on it. And as much as I tell you, no one can predict the next bar, I do want to let you know that I, in fact, can predict the next bar. Harry Potter, maybe. Harry, but Harry as in physically Harry. Sangria
submitted.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Where are we?
Order filled.
All right. We hit it again. We're 4 for... Dude, Skynet is taking over my life, and I'm not even going to complain. Skynet just hit right there on the ES contract. And we're rocking it. Some accounts are at 250. Some accounts are at 200. There's been a couple missteps here and there. But overall, not complaining. Not complaining whatsoever. Matt can stare into the ether and see the tendies. That's what we're looking here for. So anyway, I'm showing you this not to brag about my clairvoyant abilities, which of course I will, but more so just to point out that we bounced perfectly off of support. And then the next thing's obviously going to be this battle once again at 6,000. My base assumption is that it's going to fail and we're going to retest down here, but I'm basing that off of the fact that Mag 7's really popping now. Someone turned on the switch at 10:30, but the SPY flow has been so bad. The fact that it's just getting this beat up, that's why I think this bounce is going to fail, and really we're going to be retesting 5975, and if that doesn't hold, then I'm watching 5950. These are my two major downside levels, but of course, if we do somehow pump and hold 6,000, well, that sets up the opportunity for 6,020. Basically, I'm saying always have your bull case, always have your bear case, and then play whichever one you think the trend is currently supporting. I wouldn't be married to one side or the other. I would just say, have your cases, play what the trend is, and move on with your life. I think that's the best way to really engage with this market without losing your mind. So as we're waiting to see if this bounce fails, once again, if it does, watch the intraday low, but also this key open interest level. This is a good opportunity for questions. Folks, do you have any questions about Vanquish? Do you have any questions about Apex? Do you have any questions about the Discord? Do you have any questions about options? Do you have any questions about futures? Do you have any questions about systematic trading? Before I let you guys go for the weekend, and there's no homework this weekend, I am a kind, benevolent dictator of our little digital kingdom. I'm a kind teacher, no homework, school's out. I just want you guys to catch some sun rays and get some vitamin D this weekend. So before I let you guys go, what are your questions? Can I have a pony for my birthday? Yes. Here, it is officially written. You can now have a pony for your birthday. Happy Father's Day to all. We are a little early, but hey, why not? Daddos are some of the coolest people on this planet. So happy early Father's Day to all fathers and grandfathers and great-grandfathers, but we're not going beyond that. Are any of these funded accounts able to run purely in web browser? I have no idea. I think Tradeovate can. Actually, I don't know. Well, hang on. Yeah, Vanquish can. This is all web browser right here. That's all web browser, what you saw me trading on. So that one definitely can. In terms of, I know Ninja can't. I'm not sure about Tradeovate and Wealth Charts, though. I think Top Step has a web browser one. How many Apex accounts have you had in terms of evals? Thousands. Any recommendation of where to check out anything for stupid ass noobs regarding bot trading? There's a lot of great content on YouTube already. I have some specialized videos in the Discord, and also just go talk to AI, talk to ChatGPT, say that, be like, I am brand new to the world of systematic trading. Where do I start? Wealth Charts has both. Okay, so that's your answer. Thank you. Yes, Tradeovate accounts have decent web interface. So I'm hearing from both of you guys that Wealth Charts and Tradeovate have web options. Can you show us how to set up the target stop loss? Well, mine's all automated. How do you run statistical analysis on your stats? Like, what data points do you use? Well, it depends what I'm trying to do the breakdown of. If I'm doing the analysis on my trades, obviously I put in the entries, the exits, and the performance. If I'm trying to come up with a strategy, I'll run it on whatever data I think might be relevant to making a good strategy. Sometimes it's price, sometimes it's volume, sometimes it's indicators. It's really the world's your oyster. There's not one answer to that. Have you actually made money with Vanquish? Yes. Not much. I did with Grok. Highly recommend it. Shout out. Who wins, Toyota Camry or Ferrari? I don't know if you're asking about in a fight or in a race, but the answer would be the same to both, a Toyota Camry. Matt, will Apex force you to live trading under their new rules? I don't think so. Can't find the 80% discount. Spot game only $49 first month and $249. That, you literally are citing the 80% discount. $50 out of a $250 initial, that is 80% off. Like, you're literally describing the 80% off math right there. I have a question about OnlyFans. All right, shoot. The U.S. deployed 2 destroyers? What? I thought Apex didn't allow auto trading. No, that's not true. So what they're against is bots. First of all, they don't want you to buy other people's bots, and they don't want you to do like the super fast bots, like not really high frequency trading, but taking advantage of the sim environment. If you're using a bot just to like get in where you would have manually gotten in and then get out where you would have manually gotten out, you're allowed to do that. They don't want bots to take advantage of the simulated environment. And they also don't want you buying bots that, like, whatever, are off-the-shelf bots that other people sell, and you're just trading it without knowing what it is. As long as you're there actively monitoring it, paying attention, and it is theoretically something that you could have manually done anyway, you're good to go. The issue is when you're running these bots, and they're running 24/7, and they're not your bots, and they're exclusively like scalping outside of like something that would not be possible in real markets. Like, people do take advantage of the sim environment because the data is a little lagged and whatnot. Is that type of stuff where there's a problem. They hunt my simulated positions. Oh, for sure. They're always going after your positions specifically, Unfound Warrior. What sector would you consider long calls or put 6 months out? I don't know. I don't trade 6 months out. That's not my time frame. I'm either trading far longer for investing or far shorter for swing plays, or really, really short for day trades. 6 months is not my bread and butter time frame, so I can't help you there. Do you even trade, bro? Dude, I wish. Is your bot for sale? Yeah, it is. I'm going to sell it to one of you in here, and the cost is 50 cents. But I'm only selling it to one person. And the price is not negotiable. I will not go higher and I will not go lower. I will sell, actually not just that bot, but I'll sell all of my bots. I will sell every single trading system I have ever made, and I will give it to you with extensive video breakdowns, and I'll actually fund your initial accounts when using my bots. But I'm only selling it to one person. The cost is 50 cents for everything, a one-time payment, not recurring. And if you lose money, I will give you back double what you lose. But like I said, the price is not negotiable. I will not go higher and I will not go lower. If you pay me 75 cents, nope. If you pay me 25 cents, nope. It is 50 cents locked in. Do you have any new wine selecting advice? I have previously bought wine with ducks in the bottle as you suggested. Yeah, my new wine advice is if the bottle says Cab Sab, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Sab, just buy it. Throw it in the fridge for a couple hours and then crack that bad boy open. I got 49 cents. Nope, I'm not moving. I don't negotiate with terrorists, and this is financial terrorism. I'm putting my foot in the sand, and you are not gonna move it. It is 50 cents. Nope. Someone's trying to give me 50 cents and a high five. Folks, you're not gonna get me to change on this one. No way, no how. No way, no how. What beer do you drink? I don't drink beer, and it's not because I'm like some snooty person of like, oh, I don't do it. In college, I ended up like developing an allergy to it. And it must be like something in the yeast because it's not gluten. I could eat bread and I could eat pasta. I think it's something in the yeast, but if I have a couple sips of a beer, it like really, really hurts my stomach. It's like some weird allergic reaction, and I developed it at some point in college. I don't think I was always like it, but I know it's not a gluten intolerance, and I know it's not barley because I've had barley elsewhere. So my best assumption is it's something in a type of yeast because there's certain types of beer I could have. Like I could drink most wheat beers. There's like that really, really famous German brand, the Weinstefan. Those wheat beers are like perfectly fine for me, and like it doesn't upset my stomach. So if we have any medical professionals in the audience, or if we have any other people who have been like having this issue, but I think it's a type of yeast, that's my best guess, because it can't be gluten, it can't be barley, it can't be hops, and by the time it can't be the gluten, the barley, or the hops, the only thing left over is like the particular type of yeast, right? Do you have any advice on determining if the market is going to be trend following or range bound day, something like ATR on the daily? No, that if I had that, I'd be a much more wealthy man. It's one of those things that you kind of don't know till it's after, because think about that. Whether you're trending or not trending, that's going to be based on people's decisions in the future. So unless you know what they're going to do, it's not like this is predetermined. Unless you know what in aggregate the market's going to do, it's a tough one. Do you roam around Manhattan or Staten Island on the weekend? Manhattan, not Staten Island. I actually don't even know the last time in my life that I've been to Staten Island. If you're in Manhattan, you rarely go to Staten Island unless you live there and you're commuting, but that might as well be on the other side of the country. If wheat is fine, it's got to be the hops, bro. You realize there's hops in wheat beer, right? Something in the yeast, maybe something in the West. There'll be hundreds of different strains of yeast you could use for brewing. Best to test them all. So just have like one of the top 100 major beers. It's been here for a year, never gotten in for Payday Friday. That sucks to be you, Latino Potato. There's other people who've already repeated multiple times. Have you considered improving your luck somehow? Options flow? Well, it's a little bit of a pippity pop right now. So we had a big puke in the Mag 7 recovery, and actually in real time, we're getting a bit of a pop. And then looking at the S&P 500, puked flat, and now a little bit of upward movement. Like, I think it's just going for this test of 6,000. I don't know who wins. I don't know who doesn't win. I can tell you we officially have a higher low, which is exciting. So watch that. All I can tell you is this is a key level. No one knows if it's going to break out. No one knows if it's going to get rejected. If it does get rejected, I would be looking for the trend line breakdown and then taking out the 1049 low. And then from there, the test of 5975. If we get above and hold above 6,000, well, then I'd be looking for the test of the intraday high, and past that, I'd be looking at 6,020. I really think this game of like just being so biased one side or the other, that might be fine if you have a longer time duration. But if you are a day trader, a scalp trader, you just want to play the breakout and breakdown of key levels, or the bounce, or the reject, whatever it is. You want to react to the key levels. I think that's the way to do it. Not just saying, oh, I'm generically have to be bullish or bearish today. What else do we have? How do I get my Rhythmic to allow me to copy trades? It says it's not been enabled for my user ID. I have no idea. I don't use Rhythmic Trade Copier. And looking at the tech package of Rhythmic, I don't even know if I would trust them with a trade copier. It looks like have you seen their website? It looks like it was made in the 80s. My first suggestion is don't use Rhythmic's trade copier. There's seemingly far better ones out there. A bird hunt in Wyoming? I don't want to kill birds. What did they ever do to me? I mean, they're just government vessels. Just government vessels. You can add to your luck odds with bribes or black magic. Oh, for sure. You know how some people are all hoity-toity about like, oh, you couldn't bribe me. I have morals, like all that stuff. No, folks, I am for sale. Like 100%, I could easily be bribed. Honestly, you would be more surprised at how low of an amount it would take to bribe me. Are you going to take any bets on the U.S. Open today? No, I do want Rory to win. I think it'd be cool for him to have 2 this year after going in such a drought, but I don't know enough about golf to make informed bets. But the U.S. Open, it does start today. Today's day 1, so it'll be interesting. But I do want Rory to win. I think that'd be awesome. I think that would be actually really, really cool for him. All right, let me get this marked out. I need to know this for my own trading. And other than that, we're just going to let the bots run wild today. Bots wild. All right. No kitty. This is my pot pie. What? No kitty. This Tom? The fuck is going on in your life? No kitty. This is my pot pie. Cartman, everyone's yelling Cartman at me. Obviously, I don't know the riff. What the fuck? South Park. I obviously have not seen this episode. Now I need a. Now I'm just confused. That's an old. Oh, it's season 1. So you're really pulling back on the history books there. Surprise! A rejection at a key level. Said no one ever. All right. Basically, you're looking for either the recapture and the hold or the rejection back to the trend line, and then you're looking at how price reacts to the trend line. And then if that doesn't hold, this recent low at 1049. Don't overcomplicate it. Do not. Oh, it's legacy. No kitty. This is my Popeye. What a strange statement. I'm now more curious in like what context that was possibly said, but all right. Well, folks, that's what I have for you. Have a great Friday. I hope you make a shitload of money. Shout out to Vanquish. Check them out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You could use that code Goonie to get 25% off and a free reset. If you want to join up with the Goonie Trading Discord, it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. You could use that code Goonie again to get a free month in there. Other than that, respect your risk. Stick to your trading plan. Like I said, I hope you make a lot of money. Pay attention to whatever the major global war news is of the day, because I would not be surprised if we continue to get like lengthy ranges, much bigger than yesterday. So stick to your plan. You know what to do. Tip generously at your local taqueria tonight when you are also getting your fourth pitcher of sangria. And other than that, maybe get some vitamin D, see the sun, be a little bit healthy and whatnot. And that's what I have for you guys. We will be posting another update video on Sunday before the market opens, obviously on Monday. And then we're going to be rocking it. And I just want to remind everyone that next week is a strange week because we have the FOMC decision on Wednesday, markets closed on Thursday, and then opens back up on Friday. So next week is an oddly shortened week, but it's in the middle of the week that the market's going to be closed. So just want to throw that out there in case you're trading options for next week or something like that. That the big thing of next week is the FOMC meeting, and there's also no trading on Thursday, at least in the equity and options market. So just want to throw that out to everyone. That's what I have for you now. I hope you guys crush it. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.